Hi, and welcome to the Uplift with Dabney Brice, the podcast where we'll elevate global stories by shining a spotlight on underrepresented narratives, educating ourselves about current and historical events and diverse cultures and communities. Let's journey together to step outside our comfort zones, uplift each other, and make the world a little bit better along the way. Welcome, my uplifters. It's your girl, Dabney Brice, and we got a really interesting episode for you today. So, because of the pandemic and lockdowns, we've had the opportunity to watch so many Netflix shows this past year. One show in particular got so much buzz and opened a lot of people's eyes to the world of chess, The Queen's Gambit. But let's look past the acting, the plot, the costumes. What is the chess world actually like? Well, our guest today, Joshua Colas, knows the answer to that question, as he's been in the chess game for years and became the youngest Black chess master at 12 years old. Now he's 22 and on his way to becoming a grandmaster. And I'm so happy that he's on the podcast today to talk about his experiences. So enough of me talking. Let's dive in and let's get started. All right. Thank you, Josh, for being here. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast to talk about chess and everything about your experiences in general. But how are you, first of all?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your podcast. And it's an honor. And I'm looking forward to the questions and everything we have to share.
Mm-hmm. Just a little fun fact, I guess, for the audience, because they won't know unless I say it, but we're related.
Right.
We're cousins. So I'm older than Joshua. You're 22, right?
22. Yep.
Right. Okay. I'm older than him. He's my younger cousin. He's not a baby anymore, but he's my younger cousin. I've known him his whole life. And so I just, knowing your background in chess, knowing that you became the youngest chess master, and watching you going through that world, I just knew that more people had to hear your story. And especially after okay, first, before I get into the questions, have you seen The Queen's Gambit on Netflix? I want to know that.
Yes, I have. And that's I think a wonderful series. I encourage most people to watch. It's not too long, 7 episodes, I believe.
It's pretty long. I don't know, but I felt it was long.
I mean, for me, it's not long because I guess I'm a chess player. This was soaking in new knowledge. But for the most part, I think it was a nice Netflix series for sure.
Do you feel like they got it right in terms of showing how chess really is, or do you feel like they mostly got it right? Maybe things were not as some things were not as accurate.
Right. I mean, I think that's with movies in general. Not everything is always going to be scripted precisely, but I think I give them, very good credit, especially since there hasn't been any chess movies out there in a while, in this, at least in this century. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for sure.
Awesome. Okay. I knew I had to ask that. I couldn't not get into this episode without asking you, which brings me to the episode title. Obviously, the show is called The Queen's Gambit, but I'm naming this title The King's Gambit because of you. So it's The King's Gambit. It's not an actual move, but I don't know. I thought I was punny, so I'm gonna
feel honored.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back with that.
No, that was a good one.
Thank you. I tried. So let's just start at the beginning of your chess journey. What age were you when you got started, and sort of what drew you to chess initially?
So yeah, what got me into chess? So basically, that's a pretty easy one. As you know, my dad, he got me started into chess. At first, he was trying to get me to play in the house, but I wouldn't listen at first. I thought chess was a game for like older people, and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to get into chess. But after he told me it would benefit me. It would benefit me. And I realized it was just a fun game, and it was different than, other board games for the most part. And basically chess, it's a different board game because you could tell so much about your opponent. And for the most part, for example, if you're playing against someone who's shy, you know uh, you'll see that, excuse me, you'll see that they're afraid to take risk. Okay, you'll see that they're afraid to take risks if they're shy. And if you see that, if you're playing against somebody who has like an assertive personality, you'll see their aggression over the board. And of course, on the other hand, if you're playing like somebody who's like patient, you'll see that they take time with their moves. So chess gives you that different type of perspective in that fashion. But I started when I was 7, and from then I'm still playing.
It's funny that you mentioned that chess is a board game.
Right.
And like when I think of board games, chess may not be the first thing that comes to mind. I think of like Monopoly, checkers, the game of life. Those are also considered board games. But the difference between those and chess is that there's, like you were saying, like there's that mental component, that extra added competitiveness, and also it's basically like chess is a mental sport. You're not physically doing anything besides like moving your hands when you move the chess pieces,
Exactly.
but you are like in the show, that Queen's Gambit, for example, like you saw like her, like they showed you kind of um an outside view of what her brain is thinking. Like how like the chess pieces were on the ceiling, and you could
Exactly.
see her like thinking of the different like moves that she could
Movement.
possibly do. Like I feel like that was an example of like the mental gymnastics that's happening inside your brain
Exactly.
while you're playing chess, right?
Psychologically and yeah, mentally. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
and
is going on in the mind.
and so you learned from your dad and our uncle, well, my uncle, your dad. um, and your dad's one of the smartest people in the world, I think. I'm biased because I know him, but he's little like legitimately like a genius. I don't think he's ever had like an IQ test.
I think he has. He told me, I forgot
He
the
did.
score, but
You-
he said it, but it was high. It
It
was
was
pretty.
it was high. Like he's so smart, y'all. Like he can. There are so many times growing up where he would tutor me, and um he would, like, if I didn't know something, and if even if he didn't, like, he wasn't an expert in it, he would always do the research, teach me, and I would have teachers being like, how do you know like this extra added step? So for him to how was that for you, learning from your dad? And because, like, for example, for chess, most people, um it's not easy accessible. You have to, if you don't know someone that knows how to play the game, or if you don't have the money to pay someone to teach you
Right.
how to play the game, it like you would never really know. Especially like your time, like you're not that old, but you're from a generation, like you grew up with the internet slowly. And
Mhm.
so like there wasn't things like YouTube where you can go online and figure out how to play chess and sort of
No.
teach yourself.
Right.
So how was that for you, learning from your dad and having him as a resource?
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to my father. He paved the way for me. He paved the way for me. He actually he was taught the game by my uncle, his brother, and he passed on the game to me. But for the most part, yeah, my dad, he's helped me a lot. He's, devoted a lot of his free time just to travel with me and just be there and support me. And he's just been, someone who's never gave up. And on my I guess my talent, and he always believed in me for the most part. So I give him, a lot of credit. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And of course, I give a lot of credit to my mom and my other family members, my sister and my brother, for always, supporting me as well. But yeah, like you mentioned, my dad, he's not just with chess, with academics. He's helped me and my siblings. and
He's helped everybody.
he's helped everybody.
Everybody, you name it, like
Help.
strangers, like he's one of the most like giving people that I know.
Yeah, he is. He. That's one thing about him. He has a very kind personality, and he's always willing to give first, and think about others. And
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean,
shout
I
out to
appreciate.
him.
Yep. Shout out to Guy Colas. Yep.
Hmm. MVP. Um, okay, so now you started at 7, and 4 years later, you became the youngest Black chess master at 12, right?
Yeah, about five.
That's
Yeah.
5 years later. Oh, math. 5 years later, Dabney. Math is not my strong suit. My
Nah.
strong suit, y'all. So you became 5 years later, you became the youngest Black chess master at 12, which I think is an amazing accomplishment for any young person. And I think about that time. I'm 2 years older than you. So I was 14. And I remember when that happened. And just so y'all know, Joshua's dad, Guy, also taught me how to play chess. And I would also go to chess tournaments, but I wasn't that good. Like I think I only ever like won one and I would always draw. Like the tournaments would always end
Yeah.
the same for me. It's better than losing, but like I never won a trophy. I wasn't good enough to win a trophy. My brain just doesn't work that way. Like I was smart, but say that again.
I was about to say that's the thing about chess. It's the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to always win, and that's what it teaches you. That you're not. There's someone who's going to always be better than you, always.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So, at the end of the day, the more consistent you are, the more the easier and the faster you'll grow. It's all a mental. It's a mental battle as well that you're dealing with when
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to be, the best that you can.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I guess like I remember just being 14 and hearing, oh, Joshua became the youngest Black chess master. And I remember it was a very crazy time after that. Like you were on TV, you were being interviewed. I feel like everyone was dying to talk to you, like, oh, let's Joshua, Joshua, Joshua. And I feel like it opened, like I knew about chess a little bit because of you, because of playing myself and going to tournaments. But when you became this chess master, I feel like it opened this door to a wider world that I feel like our family wasn't necessarily like we weren't familiar with, right? So can you explain like how was that time like for you? And also how do you become like what is a chess master and how do you become a chess master? So answer that first. How do you become a chess master? What is a chess master? And how was that experience for you once you got that status?
Okay. So, first, to become a chess master, you need to devote a lot of time into studying and playing, and that's not something easy to accomplish at all. I would say, um, the title puts you in a minimal category of players who have reached that level, and there's players who've actually been playing all of their lives and they never make it to expert level, which is the level below master. So that
Mhm.
just gives you an idea of how hard it is to become a master. And
And you did
but
that at 12?
yes, so I did it at 12. I did that at 12 years old, and becoming the youngest African American Haitian master at 12, youngest Black master at 12. That was definitely a big deal for sure. That was definitely a big deal. I think my dad was happier than I was happier. Um, he was standing. I remember it vividly. Honestly, he was standing right next to me at the table that I was playing at, and I remember I was playing very intensely against another master, and if he knew if I had won that game that I was playing against the other guy, I would have become the youngest Black master at the time, and it was a great moment for sure.
Hmm.
And I also want to mention that like I said before, if I didn't have family supporting chances from you guys, from my immediate family and everything, I probably wouldn't have achieved, that level of chess mastery. Honestly, because like I mentioned before, my dad spent all of his free time, just to go to a tournament with me, whether it was during the weekday, the weekend, and he just never gave up when things didn't go my way. Honestly, he didn't give up when things didn't go my way. I just always I was always remembering him telling me, don't worry, you'll make it on your time, you'll make it in your time. And that's something that, I still keep with me today because
Mm.
I still have future aspiring goals, excuse me, like to become a grandmaster. So, you know, and my mom, she's also very supportive, even though she doesn't know how to play chess. My mom,
Hmm.
she's an extremely patient person, and that's where I get that from. But going back to the other question of how did it feel when I actually became a master, and getting all of that uh, attention. I mean, for the most part, it like you mentioned, it was something that it was very unfamiliar for the family, but tremendously unfamiliar for myself. I didn't expect, me to be on, big headlines like, Huffington Post, the Fox 5 News. It was an amazing experience. I definitely, embraced those times, and I'm blessed and grateful for even going through, for even having that ability to do that. And that just shows that you just cherish every moment because
Hmm.
you know uh there's, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, yeah.
So, um, what are you mentioned like expert level? We know chess master, grandmaster. What are the different like levels to chess are there, and how do you know that you're an expert? How do you know that you're a chess master
Right.
or
So
grandmaster?
right. So you basically, there's different levels to chess. First, there's different class systems. So basically there's a class A, class B, class C, class D, and those are the lower ranked players. Okay.
Hmm.
And then after, like, class A, there goes expert. Expert goes is there's a rating system,
Hmm.
and
So
for
there's
the
like points.
there's points, and basically ratings, they are a point system. It's a system. It's a how do I explain it? Yeah, it's like points you get from each and every tournament that you play. If you win, you gain points. If you lose points, right?
Mm.
And they accumulate all of the points that you gain over time, and over the time of period of tournaments that you play in. And after, if you reach a level of 2,000 rating points, that's expert level. If you reach a level of 2,200, that's master level, and
Mm.
that's what I achieved at the age of 12, 2,200 rating points. So
And how
that's
much is like how much is a game worth? Is it like each game is 100 points, and so you do the math on how many games you have to win to get to expert or mastery, or is it like different for each tournament?
Okay, so that's a great question. For the most part, each and every game you gain a different amount of rating points, depending on your opponent and
Mm.
their rating. So if I was, for example, a rating level of 2,200, and I was playing somebody who was 2,600, if I win, I gain a lot more points than I was playing against somebody who was rated 2,300 or somebody who was rated 2,100.
Okay.
The lower they are, the lower amount of points that you gain per
Mm.
win, especially if you're higher rated, or depending on where. It's a it's a system where they they nah, I don't even know what I'm saying. Just
It's
forget
a
it.
system. It's a system.
It's a
And
system.
they like there's the International Chess Federation and they decide
Right.
that
They
system.
have that. Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
within the International Federation, there's like the US version, there's the for different countries, right?
Right. And the international, that's where you could achieve the grandmaster title. So
Mm.
basically, my goal at first was to become a master, which I did within the U.S. Then was to become a FIDE master, and those two are accomplished so far. Now, before you become a grandmaster, you need to become an international master first, right? And
Hmm.
there's two criterias that you need to have in order to become an international master. And then you need to play in 3 tournaments and perform exceptionally well against other title players to earn what they call a norm, you know. And once you make 3 norms, then that's the first step. The next step is to get the rating points, like we talked about, and
Hmm.
increase your rating to 2400. So once you get to 2400, you're an international master. So basically, I have the 3 norms. All I need to do is get to 2400, and
Hmm.
it's the exact same requirement for a grandmaster too. But to put it in perspective, of course, it's subjective. I would say like it's harder to accomplish the grandmaster title. They say it's harder to accomplish the grandmaster title than it is to earn your PhD. So
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's a fun
Wow.
fact. That's a fun fact for you.
That's crazy. So I guess, well, you're ahead than most people because you're still so young and you have the rest of your life to get there. But what is the like point to get grandmaster then? Like, what do you? How will you know that you're a grandmaster? And is that also the highest level that you can achieve in chess?
Right. So that's basically like the black belt in chess,
Mm,
grandmaster. And the brown belt is international master, which I'm basically a brown belt in chess. I
mm,
just I've touched black belt level because I have 1 grandmaster norm, and so I need 2 more to become
mm,
a grandmaster. And the other requirement I need to do is get a rating level of 2500. So we mentioned before that the international master is 24, so
mm-hmm.
grandmaster is 25, so it's 100 more points. Currently I'm at 2300, so I need like 200 points and two grandmaster norms to become a grandmaster. So you know my time will come.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I'll just leave it in the man above's hands.
Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy. I didn't even know all of that. Like, I knew about the like master, grandmaster. I didn't know about the rating system. Well, I knew of it. I knew the point, like that there were points in chess, but I didn't know all the specific details. And so that's really interesting. And you learn something new every day. Um, because you're so close, do
Mhm.
you have any idea of like in terms of like timeline of when you'll reach grandmaster, and also how has like the pandemic shaped like that timeline? Has that gotten in the way? Are you still doing chess tournaments? Are they virtual? Like, how has that been for you?
Right. Um. Well, as far as putting a time to when I'm going to do it, I don't know. I think that depends on me. Everything has a time, I guess. And my time, I guess, will come at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it'll be the right time. But I would say, the pandemic definitely slowed down things uh, dramatically. There were frequent tournaments happening often in different states. Now there's only things. I'm grateful that there's tournaments now that's been active, especially only in a specific area, a specific state, Charlotte, North Carolina.
But
So
also,
that's
North Carolina is not really paying attention to the
yeah.
pandemic, the South in general. So,
Right, right. So I mean, the thing is with the tournaments nowadays, you have to go in with the mask and you have to play the game, with your mask on the whole time. And these games could last like 4 or 5 hours. So you could be sitting over the board with a mask on and on your face for like 4 to 5 hours. So it's not easy. It's not easy nowadays. So like I mentioned, the pandemic definitely changed the chess world. So nowadays most people are playing online, and they've been hosting a lot of online events, which most people have been drawn to a lot.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's interesting. So hopefully now that like vaccines are rolling out, um, and we're all supposed to be eligible by May 1st to at least try to get, hopefully by this summer, you can get back to playing chess. Um, so I guess switching gears a little bit, the greater chess world. And I feel like you can see that through the Queen's Gambit as well, even though it's a different time period. It's predominantly white.
Right.
And I found this recent article that interviewed Grandmaster, excuse me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, and you can correct me, Josh, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Pontus Carlson.
You said it perfectly correct.
Beautiful. He talked about his experiences with racism, prejudice within chess. Um, and it also, like the article mentioned that in the International Chess Federation, there are 1,700 grandmasters that are recognized, and only 3 are Black. Like, I want to say that again, 1,700 grandmasters, and only 3 are Black in the world. This is all of the grandmasters. Sorry, grandmasters, not chess masters. These are all the grandmasters in the world,
And only 3 are Black.
and only 3 are Black. And that's such a wild statistic. And like, so I just want to hear more from you, like what your experiences are being a Black man in this world. Yeah, what are your experiences being in this world, and what does it mean to you to know that, and to like hear that there are only 3 grandmasters, that you're close to either being the 4th, 5th. I don't know about the other, like, I don't follow chess like that. I don't know about other Black masters that are trying to achieve grandmaster status, but the fact that you're so close and you could literally count on one hand.
No. I mean, for the most part, I wish it wasn't like that, where there's basically no black grandmasters along with the other 3. But uh, if it's the fact that I know that I can do it
Mm-hmm.
gives me, and the fact that there's little to none gives me a lot of motivation.
Mm,
Gives me a lot of motivation, and but some players, they use that as an excuse to say that we're not capable. uh,
mm,
just like anything else, I would say, if you have more money than me, you could do more for me. You know what I'm saying? So
mm. Okay, wait. We can't. That was a gem. Y'all hear that?
true.
If you have more money for me than me, you can do more for
Yeah,
me. And
yeah,
so the International Chess Federation, the chess world in general, has a lot of money,
right.
so they can provide more.
Exactly. Exactly.
Preach,
It's
preach.
the truth. It's the truth. And I mean, for the most part, yeah, it is the truth. And I would say preparation. It plays a huge part in elevating your game.
Mm,
So that means you have to hire like a well-suited coach for yourself as well. And that involves a lot of moolah. You know what I'm saying? So, and my dad, growing up, he didn't want to do that. Even though he wanted me to become a GM,
mm-hmm,
he placed education first. He placed education first, and for the most part, I would say that my experience was good. In the chess world, as being a black man in the chess world, it was pretty good. But I had instances, I would say, that, um, I would question, was it because of, I got treated like that because of the color of my skin, you know?
mm,
Especially because there's not a lot of black chess players in the chess community. Um, if I go to a tournament, I'm one of the only black players in the competition, if not the only,
mm,
So, but honestly, I never let things like that bother me because, I did have a lot of other white supporters. For example, I had one kind-hearted gentleman, Ray Ainsworth, um, who's always been a supporter of me and supporting me throughout my whole chess career. So,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
And do you feel like because of how young you started, you may have been a little bit more protected and shielded from that, or you may not have noticed it as much being such a young child? Like your dad may have taken that like brunt for you because he's your dad.
Mhm.
um like you're at 7, you're not necessarily paying attention as much.
Right.
um but your dad may have noticed a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Exactly. I mean, over the board, I wouldn't say that. I think most players respected my game, so they didn't really, because I was beating them, so they were like, okay, if the kid's beating me, why should I, have that type of treatment towards him. But so over the board, I wasn't getting that type of treatment. It was just maybe, I guess, maybe outside or going into the tournaments, people just scouting on the players,
Mm-hmm.
sizing them, saying, "Oh, who's this kid? Who's this kid?" And my dad was always with me, so
Mm-hmm.
I never had issues with that. But like I mentioned before, I didn't let things like that bother me because chess is very psychological. Things like people probably try to get in your head just so they could get an advantage mentally. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, good thing my dad he was able to prepare me for for the mental battles and the psychological and the physical battles over the board. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess I want to talk back. You mentioned money, and again, talking about the accessibility for chess. So, like you said, you were privileged in the sense that you had your dad who
Mhm.
knew how to play, and he was taught by your uncle. But there's not a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't have that story. And so chess is really expensive. Like you, again, there's traveling involved. Like I remember, like you went everywhere, and luckily, like you had a lot of support and people like raising money for you to be able to go. Um, like you wouldn't have been able to go if you didn't have that support, essentially. But like there's tournament fees, right?
Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
there's tournament fees. Y'all, Josh went all over the world. Like he didn't just travel within the US. Like he went to Greece,
Yeah,
like Europe. I don't know where else you went. You went everywhere. It feels like you went to a lot of places.
yeah, Brazil. Yeah, I went to.
Brazil.
Yep, yep.
Like
I've been.
basically, you were like a part of the US like Olympic team, but for chess.
Yeah, I
That's
was.
why you were able to
Mhm.
travel as much. But I guess I want to hear, knowing about the lack of diversity and the lack of accessibility to chess. And also, not to mention, it's a very male dominated world too. There's not a lot of women
Mhm.
in chess. And like, I remember just from my memories, again, I was not Joshua's level, y'all. I was going to like elementary schools and being in these chess tournaments. Um, I remember there weren't a lot of girls. Like it was mostly boys when I went to these tournaments. And so I guess knowing that and knowing that there's still so much work to do. And again, like you said, like if you have the money, they have the money so they can um create these initiatives to open, like to widen that door so that more people could play chess if they're curious about it. And I'm sure after seeing the Queen's Gambit, you had more people being like, maybe. Um, how do you hope, or what do you hope for within the chess world in regards to that, and how it grows and changes within the next 10 years
Right. So
and the years
I
to come,
definitely
not just 10 years, but for the
10 years.
futures?
Right. No, I definitely hope for the chess community to grow, which it has. It has been growing dramatically this year. Online, like I mentioned, since the pandemic, it actually helped popularize chess. And addition to the movie being on Netflix, um, Twitch, the chess community, the chess community on Twitch, the streaming world, it has more than millions of people tuning in. So chess has grown so far, but my hope for chess in the next 10 years is for, like we mentioned, for organizations to take initiatives, especially to the to the black communities, especially with those who have talent,
Mhm.
that'd be beautiful to see. And also, I would love to see more kids embrace the game in general, because the more kids out there, um, the more talent there is out there.
Mhm.
So and just having kids join the game and play the game it will help them in so many ways. It helps develop, a sense of self confidence, and
Mhm.
it's a humbling game too. For those, it's a humbling game for those who suffer from always feeling that they need to be on top, because there's always somebody who's going to be better than you. And that's what chess taught me for the most part. There's always somebody, even what doesn't matter what you accomplish, there's always somebody who knows more, and not just in chess and in life.
Mhm.
So, and it's great to learn. It's just a great opportunity to learn different ways, and it helps, your critical thinking and so much more. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Awesome. And so, yeah, start them young. Gotta start them young. I'm definitely grateful, even though I didn't go further in chess. I'm grateful that I learned and that I had that opportunity. Because also there's so many like benefits to chess as well.
Right, right,
Like the mental health benefits and like it increases your focus and um, helps you to like look at things differently because you're thinking about like different moves and stuff like that. Like there's a science, there's a math, there's an art as well to chess too.
Oh yeah, there is. It's a lot of different complexities, and for the most part, I would say, you know, um, it's just a beautiful game because it's taught me. It's given me the opportunity to make so many friends
Mm,
all over the world. Like you mentioned, I traveled to several places, so it's given me that opportunity, and chess is just like you mentioned, it's a different type of art, and it connects to life in so many ways. It teaches you that um, once you make a decision, it should be a good decision because you can't change it once it's done. You know.
that's true. And so I guess given that right now, currently, like you tutor
Hmm.
like kids wanting to learn how to play chess, and which I think is very like that's great that you're giving back. Like you're not just taking this knowledge and running with it. Like you're giving back and teaching others. And you've always done that. Like I remember growing up, like going with you and your dad to like lower income communities and schools and just like doing a chess day with these kids. And there were so many like black and brown kids that you would go to. And I remember like seeing their eyes and just being like, oh, there's like they would say like, this is a chess master. And you were so young. Like you were just like, you just became a teenager essentially. And
Yeah.
I just, if I was going to say something about you, like, I love that about you. I feel like you get that from your dad too, and your mom as well, just giving back to people. Like you never just hoard that information for yourself.
Right. Right. No, I appreciate that, Dab. Yeah.
Hmm. And so, my last like serious question is, what would you tell someone who is curious about chess but hasn't fully leaned into it yet? Again, like I said, the Queen's Gambit has really like put chess on the map, and
Oh.
like it's really made chess more mainstream. Um, so I'm sure there's a lot of people even listening right now that may be curious. Again, it doesn't matter what age, like you could be a little kid or you could be a grown adult. So what would you say to them if they're like on the fence?
Um, I would tell somebody basically who's just starting to learn or who's interested in learning how to play chess, that it's not a hard game to learn, but it's hard to get good at, you know.
Mm,
But on the other hand, I would say it's not impossible if you're willing to work hard and take losing as an opportunity to grow. I would say
mm,
for the most part, take losing as an opportunity to grow, because chess is it's a niche game. I would say with a very like steep learning curve. You know, so for the most part, once you learn it, it'll be something that you use as like a good entertainment, or like something that you could just use for the rest of your life as a mental exercise. And it's something that'll always keep you sharp. So I would definitely recommend, that's my advice for somebody who's just learning or willing to play the game of chess. And always try to stay consistent, and know that you're not going to always win all of your games. Losing, like I mentioned before, is an opportunity to grow, and just use that as a what's the word,
a learning
as
experience.
a learning experience. There we go.
Hmm. That's how you get better. You gotta fail to succeed,
Oh,
but you
I think
fail
I've
forward. Don't fail back. Fail forward.
right. You, yeah, fail forward. Yep, yep. Because yeah,
because everybody's going to lose, but are you going to use it as excuse, or are you going to use it as, motivation,
Mm,
So,
another gem, Josh, another gem. Very wise for a 22-year-old. But I feel like that's also because of your upbringing and you playing chess,
no, I
and also who
appreciate you.
you are as a person.
And same with you. Same with you.
Thanks. I try. So
But yeah,
that's it for the series question. There's a little addition.
okay.
I didn't send these to you because I want you to like
Just be
think,
myself.
just be yourself, think more on your feet, These are like chess related, kind of fun questions. Um, so don't think too hard about it, but just go for it. But what is your favorite chess piece? If you could choose one, what is your favorite one?
My favorite chess piece. Let me think. I would say. Hmm, hmm. That's a good question. I never thought about that, very seriously. I like them all. I like them all. They've done me well.
True. You utilize all of them. They're like your
I
children.
utilize all of them, but I would probably say the knight. The
Mm.
knight. The knight is very unique, and
Hmm.
I like things that are different. The knight moves in a different movement than all of the other pieces.
Hmm.
So
Like an
every other,
L.
yeah, an L shape. Yep. So
See, I know. I remember.
you know. That was
Okay, next question. I know there's like a lot of different ways that you can play chess. Like there's the timed thing, you
right.
could blindfold, whatever. But what would you say is your favorite way to play chess?
Ooh, I would say Blitz Chess. So Blitz Chess, for those who don't know, is basically playing with the timer,
Mm,
and you have a time. Each side has a time control of 5 minutes per side,
mm,
and time limit of 5 minutes to play the whole entire game. Actually, I like it 3 minutes each side, so even quicker. So it's
mm,
fun because each you see everybody moving so fast, and it's like the pieces are scrambling. But I've adapted to online chess a lot, and I find that as a lot of entertainment. So online Blitz Chess, the same conditions but online. Yeah.
mm. Cool. And what is the hardest way? Like, what has been like your most difficult way of playing chess? Like, like whether that's blindfold or whatever. Like, what is the hardest way for you to like? Let me reframe that. What is the most difficult way to play chess for you?
Okay. Most difficult but fun is blindfold for sure. I mean, blindfold chess, you have to be completely focused, but I'm capable for sure. I've done it before, um several times. Yeah, it's difficult. It's
Hmm.
difficult. It's a difficult task, but people do it in order to. I actually even train with my students blindfolded online. It's a possibility to do it online. It's crazy, but
That's
it it's a great method just to train the brain so that you could visualize the pieces like how how you saw it
hmm
in the air in the movie, in the Queen's Gambit. You
hmm
could see the pieces in your mind without, I don't know. It's deep. Yeah.
yeah. That's like a whole another level. um, so, speaking of the Queen's Gambit, the Queen's Gambit is an actual move, and but there's a lot of different like moves in chess. What would is your favorite to play?
I actually play the Queen's Gambit.
Mm.
I like the Queen's Gambit, but my favorite, my favorite is the ready opening because it starts out with the knight, and that's probably why I like the knight.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, next question: favorite country you've traveled to for chess?
Ooh, man, probably Greece. I would say Greece.
Mm.
That was just a beautiful. I went to like I think it was like how could Dixie or something. I can't remember the name. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it was a wonderful experience. I recently went to I went to like Dubai for a day too. It was insane, but
I'm so
man,
jealous. I've been in the Dubai airport because I was
are you?
going to and from Uganda when I went to
Uh,
Uganda, but I haven't like the airport's really cool, but I haven't actually
mm,
like gone and
yeah,
seen Dubai, but I do want to one day.
yeah. I mean, but I was also, I think we've been to several countries, the same countries. We've been to Dubai, we've been to Hungary. I know you said you've
Mm-hmm.
been
Oh, I
to
love
Florida.
Hungary.
Oh my gosh, Hungary. Oh man, it's probably top one, two.
Okay,
Top
Greece and Hungary
Greece,
and
Hungary.
Dubai.
Yeah, but I think but I don't know. I don't like the weather in Dubai. I like.
Hmm.
I definitely could say Spain. Spain.
Mm. Okay,
I would say
okay.
yeah, before Dubai, and then. But yeah, those are the top three. Yeah.
Awesome. And then last one that I got for you. What is your favorite chess memory of like you've done chess for years now, but what is like one of your favorite memories?
Hmm. Hmm. One of my favorite memories is definitely when I became a chess master. But
Mm-hmm.
another one was when I won the nationals in Florida. The nationals is basically just like in any other, I guess, gymnastics or like Julia would know, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. But
Julia is my sister, by the way.
right,
She did
right.
gymnastics.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, tournament where everybody comes from all over the country, and I was playing in my grade, and I won it three times, the nationals three times, seventh grade, 10th and 11th. Um, but it was I think my seventh grade year when I first won the nationals. I was just very excited. That was the moment I just remember like vividly, like okay, I think I'm actually good at this game. So I
True.
mean, that was the first moment that I actually, you know, was happy, and then I just tried to stay humble, and
Hmm.
that's helped me along the way. Yeah,
Yeah. Not to mention, like, I forgot to mention this earlier. You won a tournament that essentially paid for you to go to school
that is true. Yes, so I did win a full ride.
to Webster.
My freshman year of high school, it's in a tournament to Webster
Hmm.
University, and I had an option between chess and school, so that was definitely a no brainer because chess. I mean, Webster University is the number one chess collegiate school in the nation. So when I heard that opportunity, I definitely had to accept that.
Hmm.
So everything has been I've been blessed, and I just give glory to the God. Excuse me, give glory to God. That
Hmm.
came out weird.
Yeah. Um, well, thank you so much, Joshua. I definitely enjoyed talking to you. And like, obviously, we're related, we're family. So, like, I knew a lot of this stuff, but I still learned so much. And um, you are just very, like, I don't know how to explain it. You're so humble, you're so modest. Like, I hope that the audience also gets to see that too. So yeah, again, thank you, Joshua, for being here. And yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dabney, for having me on your podcast. It was an honor, and I hope the audience is able to enjoy my story. And yeah, thank you.
All right, for this week's Dabney debrief, I have two things on my mind. First is that chess takes a lot of focus and almost sort of you have to have a certain like brain wiring to do. Like obviously anyone can do it, anyone can play chess, but it takes like a very specific person to like go on to be on Josh's level, if that makes sense. And it's not for the faint of heart or for anyone that wants quick results. And again, like it takes a special person to be like Josh to get to his level and to, become a chess master and eventually a grandmaster. So I would love to know, and obviously this doesn't have to be like chess level, but what's an activity that you love to do that makes you think like chess does for Joshua, if that makes sense. Like che- chess is to Joshua as blank is for you. So I would love to know what that activity is like for you that you enjoy doing, not something that you're just good at, but that you actually enjoy doing. And second, I can't help but think about our discussion on accessibility. Um, chess isn't that accessible. Even though it is more accessible now, there's still a long way to go before it's a wide open door for anyone to walk through, no matter their background. And it just makes me think of other activities that aren't as accessible to others. Like I can't help but think of golf and even swimming. And if you know the history behind swimming in this country and why certain groups of people can't swim, if you don't know, I highly suggest you looking it up. But yeah, it just makes me think more deeply about there's certain activities that are accessible to more people, like especially for people of color and like lower income folks. I feel like basketball is more accessible, even football, sometimes track, things that are like that people would assume are stereotypical towards certain groups of people that they would be good at. And then others like golf aren't accessible. So there's a reason why we only really know about Tiger Woods when it comes to golf and diversity. I put that in quotes, diversity within the golf world. So yeah, the same thing goes with chess. Like again, saying that there's only 3 Black grandmasters in chess. So yeah, that's something I just want y'all to think about more deeply. There's not necessarily a specific question that ties into it, but yeah, if y'all know of any other activities maybe that aren't as accessible, and thinking about ways in which we can help organizations that are trying to make it more accessible and, you know, support school systems, support programs that within schools that help these activities become more accessible to the younger generation. So yeah, that's something I want y'all to think about. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to today's episode. For links and resources, check out the episode notes. If you liked what you heard, help your girl out by leaving a 5-star rating and a review. For more content and updates, follow the show's Insta at @Uplift_podcast. And spread the word by telling your friends and sharing on social media. Subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now. For any questions or business inquiries, you can email me at theupliftpodcast1@gmail.com. This was The Uplift with Dabney Brice. See you next time.